Alright everybody, you're looking at Isaiah Lloyd, who is a highway patrolman for the state of Tennessee. Now last August he pulled over a Miss Patricia Wilson for not wearing a seatbelt. Now while he pulled her over, he had her come out of her car, he patted her down, and performed a field sobriety test. Well, according to Miss Wilson, he way overdid it, he was inappropriate with her, and she is suing him for $100,000. Well, watch it for yourself and tell me what you think.
No. I do no drugs, no nothing. I swear to God.
Down real quick before we do anything. Before the voice. Great thing, voice man.
Nothing.
My finger. You did my finger.
Yes.
So I want you to do is follow my finger with your eyes and eyes on this, okay? On the other hand, alright?
No. The only thing I take... No. The only thing I take is, and that's at not, I take, what's the name of it? To help me sleep. No, I think that's quarter. God, what is the name of it? Yes. I mean, it's not something that I take every day, but I normally have to take it every other night, but I don't take any kind of narcotic or anything else. I can't sleep. It is? I told them specifically I wanted nothing narcotic. Well, I took that for, I think, not even a month, and I thought it didn't work for me. But, I don't even remember the name of it because where it's generic. But, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009,
Now, 3 hours after he pulled her over the first time, he pulled her over again, saying that her windows were too tinted. And this time, the audio was lost. Mr. Lloyd says that the battery went dead. Now, just for the record, the DA's office has reviewed this video and cleared him of any wrongdoing, and he is back on the job. Also, it should be said that Ambien is not a narcotic. But in all fairness, I've taken Ambien before, and it makes me loopy as hell. There's no way I would ever drive on Ambien. Also, both of the tickets given to Miss Lloyd have been dropped. So, what do you guys think? Now, as many of you may know, there are those in the black community who say that it is impossible for blacks to be racist. Now, I know that to be impossible because I've experienced it for myself, but here, watch this video and judge for yourself.
Look at it. In a black-owned restaurant. Look at the. Wow. Y'all excuse me? Excuse me? Y'all together, like in an intimate relationship? Really?
What's up?
You couldn't find no black woman? Like, you had to go that low to the lowest rung of humanity? If they're even humans, it's arguably that they're even humans. Like, are you that weak? Are you that weak? Because I don't normally interview y'all because y'all get me so upset being so weak. But just the fact that y'all had the audacity to sit in a black-owned restaurant and share this, you know, I had to ask, like, well, what's wrong with you? Like, you couldn't find no black woman? What was it? What was it that made you that weak that you would get on your knees and bow to this less of a female that's lesser than a black woman in every way? Your mother was black, right? Your mother was black, correct?
Now, that's pretty racist, isn't it? Well, according to MTV, that is not racist. That's something else entirely. Watch for yourself.
I'm talking about colorism. First, let's be clear about what the word colorism actually means. Colorism is not synonymous with racism. It's a form of discrimination based on skin color. And before you're like, wait, isn't that like the literal definition of racism?
Yes, that is the actual literal definition, and it is not the definition of anything else. But let's hear what you have to say.
In 2014, she entered a competition to become the reigning queen of the Globaliza Carnival, which is televised throughout Brazil. The title had always gone to a woman of Afro-Brazilian heritage, but Justina is black and very dark-skinned, whereas previous winners were traditionally lighter-skinned. Despite that, she ended up winning the competition, only to have her title stripped away after the Brazilian public was up in arms because she was too black to be the Carnival's queen. In this instance, the outrage over Justina's skin color came from both white and black Brazilians. She was eventually replaced by Erica Moura, a lighter-skinned woman more in line with the color of previous winners. Colorism. It sucks. This is one way racism and colorism are different. Systems of oppression favor white people, meaning black people can't technically be racist towards other black people, but clearly in this case, they can and do perpetuate colorism in their own communities.
Amazing, right? They're actually presented with a case of black people being racist, and they still won't acknowledge it. Instead, they just invent a new word. Colorism is not a word. It's not in a dictionary, not in a real dictionary, and wow, I'm speechless. That's just amazing to me. What do you guys think? Now, a Purdue University group is saying that the word man should never be used, stating that it's sexist and offensive, and that says words like synthetic or humanity should be used instead. But wait a minute, isn't the word man in humanity? Here's Crazy Kathy on Fox News trying to explain it.
University, accredited school, apparently tells students to avoid words like mailman and mankind in order to have, quote, non-sexist, non-biased writing. Kathy Aru is founder and publisher of Catalina Magazine, and we think she agrees, and she joins us tonight. Kathy, it's great to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
I got to say, there's kind of a basic irony here. I mean, you're lecturing us about sexism while you're sitting right now in Manhattan.
Manhattan. We need to rename the city then. The Big Apple. The Big Apple would be less offensive. So I feel that I'm sitting in the Big Apple, not Manhattan.
Okay, but why stop there? Why should the post office deliver mail?
I know. Well, it's spelled M-A-I-L, so that's okay. If it's M-A-L-E, then there's a problem.
Homonyms count, and this applies to email too, because it's not about spelling, it's about being gender inclusive, and mail is offensive. We've just learned that. So.
Well, no, I don't think they're including that, but they are saying that society has changed and times are changing, and we don't want to be offensive in our language. And they're trying to be non-sexist and non-biased, and that means trying to take the word man out. So instead of man-made, it would be synthetic. So instead of mailman, it would be mail carrier. So there's many ways to go around it. Instead of humanity, you should say people.
But mail carrier still has mail in it. So you haven't, it's kind of a fake. Oh, but that's a judge.
Oh, package carrier.
Well,
I mean, we can come up with so many other terms that are less offensive. Yeah.
You might still offend dyslexics. You can change a vowel, but it sounds the same. It has that dreaded word that sends people shrieking for their safe spaces, mail.
Well, they're saying man. Man is the word that they're trying to avoid. They're saying that the word man is associated with adult men as opposed to just humanity or humans. So they're trying to avoid the word man. So if we can eliminate that word, then things would be much better and people would be less offended.
Well, what if you lived in Manchester, Vermont?
Well, they might have to change the name of the city if people agree with Purdue University. And Purdue University found that things need to be updated, and they updated their writing guide to take out these words that apparently are offending certain groups of people.
Okay, so just to make sure I understand the rule, if something offends somebody, even if you've never met that person personally, you have to change it. So doesn't that mean that a small group of super unhappy people get to control what the rest of us say and think?
Now, I skimmed through that article, and one of the things it says is that the word man-made should never be used, that, in fact, manufactured should be used in its place. But isn't the word man in manufactured. The reality is this is utterly ridiculous. In fact, the word woman has the word man in it. And come on, let's be real here. Everybody who has any common sense knows that women are actually the ones in charge. Hey, but don't take my word for it. Check out this little video and it'll explain it all perfectly.
We're a real He-Man. And besides, I'm a woman hater. Me too. Say, let's start a club right now. The He-Man Woman Haters. I'll be president. And I'll be second president. And you can be third president. Thanks. All right, get up and do exactly what I do. Put your hand on your heart and raise your other hand. We, the He-Man Woman Haters Club. We, the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Promise not to fall for this Valentine business. Promise not to fall for this Valentine business. Because girls are the bunk. Because girls are the bunk. Come on, fellas, let's eat. I'll see you fellas later.
Now, today's last bit of lunacy is right here from my home state of Texas. We have a woman who ordered 3 pizzas from Dominos. Her husband is Muslim, so she requested that the pizzas that had meat on or had ham on them be cut with a fresh blade so that no ham whatsoever touches his part of the pizza. She explained that she wanted this because her husband is Muslim and it is against his religion to consume pork. Well, watch what happened next.
After something insensitive was written to identify a customer.
A Dickinson woman says her pizza boxes were labeled, quote, woman with a Muslim husband.
She spoke exclusively with our Jason Miles. Jason, what'd she have to say?
Well, this is the Domino's location here behind me. They lowered the blinds when we first pulled up, but the corporate office is apologizing and reprimanding at least one employee.
I finally said, one lady's like, there's no pizza for Amber.
Amber Nassim says a normally delicious pizza left her sick to her stomach.
I was enraged. I was completely enraged.
After picking up a to-go order Friday night from this Bakelift Domino's.
I'm not going to lie. I flipped out. I started cussing and yelling and flicking them off. I was angry.
Take a look for yourself. Order stickers on 3 different pizza boxes identify Nassim as, quote, lady with Muslim husband. Nassim was in the store with her husband, Fajahat, who happens to be Muslim, and had requested a clean cut on 2 of the pizzas so pork products from her mother's ham pizza wouldn't be intermingled.
When they handed me the pizza, they turned it around backwards so to hide what they had done. They literally knew what they had done. They turned it, they hid it. I saw them trying to hide it. You could see it in their expression.
Nassim posted her frustrations on Facebook, adding emojis to amplify her disgust, and writing, quote, this kind of hate and racism has to stop.
What do you want from Domino's?
I don't know. I just want people to realize that this is not okay.
Nassim says an assistant manager apologized after the encounter. The manager on duty when I called referred me to corporate. A spokesperson issued a statement saying in part, quote, she did not receive the service or respect she should expect from our brand. A special request she made on behalf of her husband for a clean cut on the pizza due to religious considerations, which is something Domino's routinely does, should not have been used to identify her or her order.
Islam is about forgiveness and peacefulness, which people don't understand.
Nassim says she's willing to forgive, but this Domino's will no longer be on the menu.
I gotta admit, I'm totally flummoxed by this. She orders a pizza and says, make sure no ham from the blades, nothing touches my husband's part of the pizza, because he's Muslim. So they write to describe the pizza's going out as lady with Muslim husband. And she freaks out. Says that it's racist. I got news for you. Muslim is not racist. It's a religion. I gotta say, it must be a horrible life to be offended by everything. To be constantly on the lookout to be offended by something else. Quite frankly, I feel sorry for people like her. But as usual, what do you guys think? Let's talk about it. All right. Well, that's all for today. Vote out. See you later.